So, you all pretty much know where I stand on environmental issues, right? But in case you don't, I'm an avid environmentalist and an activist that addresses climate change, and a true believer that capitalism and its attendant ills of greed, selfishness, and duality is the root cause of our damaged and maltreated planet. And as I said in September, and it bears repeating, humans are an invasive species, and if we don't examine the way we live, no relief from Mother Earth is in sight. And as if we needed more evidence of this fact, the pandemic, which has caused us humans to slow down, stop doing what we were doing, shop less, travel less, consume less, has provided us with startlingly obvious and visual data to show us just how harmful our traditional way of life is. With no air traffic and far less car traffic, cities across the United States and world are seeing an improvement in air quality. Los Angeles, famous for its smog, has had clear skies. Reportedly, the air quality in northern India has improved so much that the Himalayas have been visible in a way that they have not been in decades. Waterways, too, are cleaner and show signs of life. But no, there are no dolphins in the Venetian canals. And animals who have traditionally been forced to stay in their lane, meaning stay out of sight, are roaming far more widely than usual. Have you seen the photographs of the lions resting on roads in South Africa? I sure do hope that they are enjoying the break from us humans encroaching on their territory. This great pause we are going through can easily be interpreted as the earth actively asking us to change our ways. And it's high time we listened and answered appropriately. What can we examine and learn during this time of low human impact? With some introspection and reflection, how can our UU sources, principles, and values help us to connect more deeply with the earth? These are questions I've been thinking about for a while, and this semester I've been able to talk about them with some young adults as well. I'm teaching a course at Vassar College, one I was thrilled to design and offer, that ties peace education into science and spirituality with an explicit focus on addressing climate change. It's sort of like heaven for me. We have read and discussed perspectives on earth stewardship from numerous religious traditions, and as we've been learning together, we see that there is far more written about our human responsibility to care for the earth than there is about us being given the authority to use it, exploit it, and trash it. But funny how the domination idea is the one that sinks in. From our course readings, we've organized and discussed some big takeaways, bold foundational ideas that can help us all rethink the earth as not only the spiritual entity Wendell Berry refers to, but also as something that is not, in fact, separate from us. So let's start with disconnection. Many of us, for whatever reason, maybe where we live or how we were raised, can feel and or be disconnected from the earth. Perhaps we don't really pay attention when we are outside. Perhaps we hate insects, so nature does not evoke feelings of love and safety. Perhaps we have to work the land, so nature can feel like a burden. Or perhaps we've had limited exposure to nature, so that earth and her gifts just seem foreign. Or maybe for most of us, we just don't think of it. We take earth for granted as our life giver, our food provider, our resource benefactor. We have to acknowledge that disconnection so that we can actively work on getting reconnected. For many years, I taught environmental education in New York City, and what I really focused on was getting city kids to see and understand, and dare I say, love nature and all her creatures. I was known for asking all the kids I taught to go hug a tree or at least give it a high five or a fist bump on their walk home as a thank you for the oxygen. Paying attention and offering gratitude is certainly a good beginning. But many of us already do feel connected to the earth, right? So what comes next? I think we need to look at consumerism, especially the rampant consumerism and disposable lifestyle that is highly popular in the United States. Do we really need all the stuff we think we need? Do we really need things that are harmful to the planet, either in their creation or when they are discarded? Do we take enough time to separate our needs versus our wants through a planetary stewardship lens? I'd really like us to rethink consumerism. We in the United States are constantly bombarded with messages that tell us we need this or that, or if we buy this or that, we will feel better about ourselves. But it's all a trap that invites us to be consumers, mindless consumers, that distract us from feeling, living, being, and accepting who we are and how we are in relation to one another and all life. Disconnection again. But this time with great costs to underpaid and undervalued working people around the world and the planet. Have you ever really wondered what that cheap t-shirt or drive-through Starbucks actually costs? All of our actions are interconnected. If we say we value life, then we have to value all life, the water, the land, the animals, the plants, the people, everyone and everything that supports our consumerism. And then we have to ask, is it worth it? And this is what it boils down to for me: duality. We go through life seeing ourselves as separate from one another, from the planet, and from God or the divine, however you define that concept. We have to stop seeing Earth as other, as a resource to be used or exploited, or just this place where we live. She is so much more than that. We have to reconceive our sense of being separate from Earth. We have to shift our consciousness from use to celebration and gratitude. We must see Earth herself as part of the interconnected web of all life of which we are a part. Our focus this month has turned out to be what changes can we make individually, collectively, politically, and consciously. I ask you all to think about your pre-pandemic actions and behaviors and consider which ones you will not return to because of the harm it did or does to the planet. Will it be limiting disposable items like takeaway containers or plastic wrapped vittles from the grocery store or Starbucks? Will it be driving and flying less? Will it be cutting back on consumerist capitalist ways and being more content with who you are and what you already have? Will it be making a sacrifice or what feels like a sacrifice, knowing that it's a promise to the earth to respect and care for her? I encourage you, all of us, to do some brainstorming, write down some ideas, and then let's share them with one another. May we shift our focus from consumption to appreciation. May we honor the spirituality of the earth and all the gifts she gives. May we live more simply so that the planet may simply live. May it be so.